Tonight at 5, we're getting new information about 5 men who were taken into custody earlier this week in Macon County, Missouri. The manhunt here in the tri-state started after a teenage girl was reported missing from her home in Indiana, but her phone was pinged here in our region. The 5 men are from Honduras and Mexico and are accused of kidnapping the girl. Her father had last seen her getting into a black SUV before reporting her missing. Shelbina police helped track the vehicle as it moved through the northeast Missouri region. Eventually, police stopped the vehicle in Macon County, where the girl was found in the back of the SUV, and the men were then arrested. Troopers say the ping cell phone signal was key to finding her.
Troopers got set up in a location as they were pinging the vehicle and actually located a vehicle that matched the description that was relayed to us. So they made a traffic stop on the vehicle to find out for investigative purposes due to the information received from Indiana. During that traffic stop and the preliminary investigation, they found that the individual that was in question that had been reported missing was inside the vehicle.
And authorities believe they were taking the girl to California, where she was to meet with an unknown man who she met on the internet. All 5 men have now been charged with second-degree kidnapping and first-degree endangering the welfare of a child.